Oh, Broncos country. It feels so good to be on top, to be on a 3-game win streak, but most of all, it feels so good to have finally beaten the Raiders again. Oh my God, I was there live. Only game I've made it to so far this season, possibly the only one I will to this season. What a game to behold! On whether you were watching it on the broadcast or whether you were like me at Empower Field watching it live, it was absolutely phenomenal. So, Broncos country, this is the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast on the Orange and Blue Network and MHRT Network. Let's get ready to go.
So smooth, the pins to chew, breaking down plays about to debut. Never pride in every view, nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Bright lights of my heart in our view. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. From draft picks to game reviews, celebrating wins, analyzing the clues. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. No orange and blue.
Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast.
Oh, Broncos country, how y'all doing? I know I'm feeling pretty good because the Denver Broncos beat the Las Vegas Raiders for the first time in so freaking long. It feels really, really good. Oh, what a good feeling. And you know what? I can't wait to share it with all of you and with our co-hosts. Both my normal co-hosts are not with us tonight. Jay had something personal going on, and Isaiah literally left my parents' house where I am broadcasting to you from in Colorado just a few hours ago to fly home to Nashville. So he's not on tonight. So tonight I have the one, the only. That's right, it's the 6'10" Mexican Adon Diaz, host of Broncos Talk, as my co-host tonight. What's up, buddy? How you feeling?
Hey, thanks for having me on, Johnny. Glad to be here. You promised me fireworks, dude. Where are my fireworks?
Well, they're on their way. I hope you opened your bedroom window because yeah, no. I hope you're doing all right though, buddy. How you feeling after the Broncos not just won, but dominated the Raiders at home on Sunday?
Oh my God, talk about fireworks. I was actually trying to lead that, that was going to be my segue, but unfortunately it didn't go off as good as I planned in my head. But guys, what an amazing win. I mean, the Broncos didn't just beat the Raiders, okay? Let's get that just put out there. Yeah. They stomped the Raiders. They didn't just beat one quarterback, they beat both quarterbacks. They beat, I mean, it was just a whooping that was long overdue, right?
Because it was
the only thing we kept hearing going into this game is that the streak was going to continue, that the Raiders were going to get over the Broncos. It was just another quarterback, just like everybody looked down on us when Russell Wilson came to town, which, by the way, he was just 1 point away from beating those Raiders. His first year. So
unfortunately, I mean, at this point, Russell Wilson's gone. Bo is the man, and I don't care.
Water under the bridge. But it was a much needed momentum shift changer. I think what Broncos country saw in that game really gave us a whole lot of hope. And Bo Nix has been the talk of the town up until the crazy news with the Jets that took over. But up until then, Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos were the talk of the town, and they're starting to make some noise and turn some heads. We're even moving up in the standings, Johnny. So I am so excited.
I mean, you know that right now, if the Denver Broncos, or if the playoffs were to start today, the Denver Broncos own the 5th seed in the AFC. I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
what? What? I mean, I feel good about it. I'm not saying that we're going yet, but you know what? That's a good feeling. We're almost we're about a quarter of the way ish through the season. I mean, 17 games. It's really hard to say a quarter now because you really can't quarter that. But we're a quarter of the way through the season, give or take a game. And right now, we're doing well. We look like what we've been asking for the Broncos to be for so long, and I feel good about it. So thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight on the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast here on the Orange and Blue Network and on the MHRT Network. If you have not already, or if you're watching this on MHRT, please jump on over to Orange and Blue Network. Give us a like, subscribe, share, comment on YouTube, X, Facebook. Hell, you can even find the audio version of all of our podcasts on whatever your favorite platform is. But if you are watching this on Orange and Blue Network and you haven't already, please jump on over to MHRT Network, show some love, give a like, subscribe, share, comment on YouTube, X, Facebook, Twitch, hell, MHRT is even on Instagram. So make sure you guys jump on over and do that. We'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. And also, if you would also show just a little bit of love to the sponsor of the show tonight, which is Dubby Generalist Energy Blend. You can find the link in the bio beneath. Dubby comes in a multitude of absolutely delicious flavors. All right. Every single cup of Dubby has 2 cups of coffee worth of caffeine, but you don't get the jitters and you don't get the crash later because Dubby is formulated with no calories, no sugar, no maltodextrin, no fillers, and no artificial colors. It is as absolutely natural as it can be. It's nothing but amino acids and B vitamins and then nootropics, including their own patented nootropic called Neurofactor that gets you going and keeps you sharp throughout the day, but without the jitters because there's no sugar. This stuff is amazing. I'm telling you, jump on over and get you some. That's how you get yourself a dub, like the Broncos got a dub on Sunday. So I'm going to even make that dub a little bit sweeter. Punch in code NRWOB10. That's NRWOB10 to get yourself 10% off your order. Guys, teach me how to dubby. That's all I have to say. All right. Boom. That's it. The dirty laundry's out of the way, and now we can just talk Broncos. Bam! I'm so excited, man. Woo! I was there, Adon. I was I was in section, in the first level on the 50-yard line. So I was only about I'm like my seat and the person next to me seats literally split the 50. And I was only, 20 rows back. So it was what a view I had getting to watch the Broncos finally, get their comeuppance, give the comeuppance to the to the Raiders. It was phenomenal. The energy in the stadium was palpable. You could cut it. The energy, you could cut it with a knife. It was so thick. It was hell. You could probably cut it with a spoon. I mean, it was incredible, brother, and I loved every single second of it. Getting to interact and mingle with Broncos Country beforehand, literally just walking up and down the sidewalks chanting "F the Raiders" and stuff like that. I only witnessed one fight, only one, and it almost hit, and they almost ran into my wife because my wife went deer in the headlights and stopped and didn't move out of the way of the fight that was coming towards her. Luckily, she was kind of a few feet away from me, and Isaiah was right there,
Mm-hmm.
and he was able to grab
Jesus.
her and get her out of the way of the fight. That's the only one I saw. But man, it was such an experience. Raider Week, it hits differently. It feels differently when you're there. It is just so different. It's just so different. And we absolutely had a blast. I know that you obviously weren't there, but I'm sure you were having just as good a time watching it at home.
Definitely.
Um,
I was watching it on my phone at work. That's how, unfortunately, because by the time the Broncos games normally kick off around that time, I'm still stuck at work. So that's why you guys haven't seen me so much on the pregame show. But I try to make it home as quick as I can, and I was actually on the postgame show with Jay.
Thank you for doing that, by the way.
Oh no, I was glad to thank you for having me. It was great to be there. It's very rare when me and Jay get to put our heads together and just talk football outside of our group chat. But I mean, this game, Johnny, really got me pumped up and eager for when I go to Denver. Well, I'll be in Denver in 2 weeks for the Panthers game. Now, granted, the Panthers lost a lot of steam after they came here to Chicago this past Sunday and just got walloped by the Bears. But I'm not putting anything against over anybody. I just need to go to Denver, and I need to recharge. You guys have heard me say it previous on Broncos Talk, which is just like, if you ever do anything in your life as a Broncos fan, you have to go to Denver, because for us, it is the messiah of Broncos country. It is the place to go to meet up with, Broncos fans of all types from all different walks of life, and we all come together and we cheer our team on. And
that's
to have been there, Johnny, was anything short of amazing. They got another home game coming up against the Chargers, and then they're going to hit the road against the without Derek Carr Saints, and then they're going to come home against Carolina. So
yeah,
if they can get over this Chargers hump,
absolutely. I mean, and on top of how amazing of a game, we're going to definitely get into all the game stuff. But on top of all that, the experience of being there this particular week, I've been to so many home games in my life. Growing up here with my grandfather carrying season tickets and pretty much taking me to every game that my grandma didn't want to go to, which was like mostly all of them. Because she didn't like being in the crowd. She didn't enjoy the big crowd. But good. I've been to so many home games, and this one, just outside of the actual game, this one felt different because one, it was throwback week. So I mean, I wish you guys could have seen it at home. For those that were watching it on the broadcast and weren't able to actually be at the game, just all the stuff that they put together to give us the throwback to the 77 season. I mean, obviously you could see the painted field and all that, but I mean, like, even in the stadium, even like the music that they were playing was from the 70s. They weren't. I mean, they did play a little bit of hip hop and stuff, as they always do, but for the most part, we were rocking out to 70s rock and stuff like that, and it was it had that feel. And of course, we got there early enough, and we got to be there live to witness the unveiling of the busts for Steve Foley and Riley Odoms, and get to hear them give their speeches, and all that. And then of course they did it again at halftime on the field with both of them. That was incredible. But ultimately, with all of that, it just had a different feel, because it was the throwback. It was, the throwback was a big part of it, but no, it was a different day. It was a different day in Broncos country. I'm so sorry. This is not my normal studio. This is not my home. This is my parents' home that I happen to be rocking out in right now. And I'm not used to the lighting in here, so I'm trying to get that figured out a little. So, all right. But it was totally different. It was absolutely incredible. All of Broncos country was absolutely on fire at the tailgate, and it was amazing. And then to go watch our boys go out there, especially, I talked about it last week. Oh, real quick before I go into this, we got to give some love to our fans. We got Richie Rich in the house saying, "Evening, fellas. Dreamweaver couldn't be on the show tonight. We love you, buddy. Hope all is well." But he says Raiders can eat shit. Love it. Those are our only two commenters so far. That's fine. It's fine. But getting to watch them, and I've said it the last couple weeks, I think, especially this last week though, with the Jets game, to have the referees stealing plays from us, and some other to have some other adversities be thrown at us during these games, and then to be resilient enough to not only come back but to win it. I spoke last week about how resilient this team is, and to be there. I mean, the stadium was on fire. It was lit up, and then all of a sudden, instant touchdown by the Raiders, like so early in the game, happened so fast, and you watched as all of Broncos country for a second. And this is what I love about Broncos country. We got silent for a second, and then we got hyped again, which a lot of teams, you see something like that happen, and they're just defeated. They're deflated almost as soon as it happens. It's over. The fans are done. And as soon as the fans are done, the team is done. Broncos country, we rallied in a big way. We got hyped, we got shouting, we got screaming, and you saw it. We get down 10-0, and then we go and score. What was it? 35 unanswered points.
Mm-hmm.
The resiliency of this team. I am in love with it. Your thoughts?
You know what? I actually tuned in a little bit late because, like I said, I was at work, and when I tuned in, I saw that the Broncos were down 7-0, and I was like, "How the hell is that possible? Like the game just freaking started." So I'm already thinking like, for some reason my mind went negative. It was like Bo Nix interception, taken back for 6. And then while I was watching the game, my coworker was nice enough to bring up the highlight for me. And he showed me, and it was just. It looked like a he's got to be down there somewhere play to Brock Bowers, and it just looked like I think Jay helped me identify. I think it was PJ Locke who just kind of overestimated it.
He definitely over pursued.
Yeah, he over pursued, and if he doesn't go up and try to bat that ball or intercept it, that's an easy tackle, and he would have been down right there. But it was,
at the same time, I'd rather him play the ball as well. Being the kind of what we need is playmaking. Playmaking secondary. That's important. And so him playing the ball, I did appreciate that.
So the thing that makes this defense great, Johnny, and I've been saying it for the last day or so, is the fact that when this defense gets punched in the mouth, it's kind of like a heavyweight fight. A heavoweight fighter, when they get punched in the mouth, they learn how to make sure it doesn't happen again. And that's exactly what the Broncos did.
Or you learn how to take a punch and get back up.
Yeah, you get back up. It's like, all right, we're going to go punch for punch. And in the second Raiders drive, the Raiders only got close to a field goal, and that was it. And then the Raiders never smelled the end zone anymore after that. I think they did get like a garbage TD.
Not until garbage time. They didn't smell the end zone again until garbage time.
Yeah, but most of the number ones were already pulled. I think I saw PS2 towards the end of that, but that was just
no, honestly, for the most part, most of our starters stayed on the field the whole game.
Once I saw D was it Yedel Turner, whatever his name is. That's when
Delarian Turner Yell.
Yeah. I don't know how the hell he's still in the orange and blue uniform, but I thought Sean Payton was just like, all right, we'll take our gas off the foot, or foot off the gas. So,
I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is, and I'm just very happy. Like I said, I am impressed with the ultimate overall resiliency of this team. To get punched in the mouth right out the gate, not once but twice. I mean, it was a 2-possession game.
Mm-hmm.
And be down 10-0 at home in front of the home crowd on throwback day when you were literally that day at halftime unveiling 2 legendary players' names in the Ring of Fame, which, by the way, what a cool ceremony that was. I mean, I loved it.
I did too. I thought it was great. I can't wait to see the statues when I go.
Oh, dude, they were awesome. I got to say hello to a dear friend, during that ceremony before he had to go do business. I got to say hello to a dear friend of the show, Mr. former Denver Broncos safety, Mr. Nick Ferguson. Got to hang out with him for just a couple minutes right there by the busts. Which was awesome. I got to shake Randy Gradishar's hand as he walked by. That was pretty cool. I also ran into Big Al at one point, Big Al Wilson. That was amazing. Just all kinds of experiences there. And I had an absolute blast with it. But like I said, just back to the resiliency real quick, to get punched in the mouth that way, to go down 2 possessions at the very beginning of a game and then come back and score 35 unanswered points. I mean, think about that. 35 unanswered. That's insane. I mean, and it wasn't even close. It was a thing of beauty. And what a day, what a time, what a day to be a Broncos fan it was.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Mundungus popping in the house saying, Johnny, sup? And then we got D-Rock saying, I'm torn between the Supermax 23-hour lockdown or the Ministry of Havoc for this Denver defense's name. I don't know, buddy. I'm pretty sure the Orange Rush has now been coined as the nickname of this defense.
Mm-hmm.
because they just keep bringing the heat, and it's beautiful. And bringing the heat is what allowed not one, not two, but three interceptions by the Broncos cornerbacks. Pat Surtain with 2 interceptions.
What a day.
I mean, and one of them a pick 6 for 100 freaking yards.
No flags.
No flags, not one illegal block in the back, no holding. It was glorious. It was gorgeous. And I called it. I wasn't able to be on the pregame show, obviously, because I was at the tailgate and all that, getting ready to go. And I was gonna call in. I was gonna call in and do the pregame show, like Jay and Ty did when they were at the Jets game.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to grab my phone and realized I'd left it in my truck, parked at DNVR. I was like, no. There you go. Mundungus just gave us the greatest nickname for this team. We had the pass rush and the secondary. They should call our defense the Double D's. What? Love it.
I don't think any Broncos fan could say that with a straight face.
Well, I also think that not anybody while any Broncos fan would be saying that some Karen over here is going to be calling HR.
Yeah.
Have you seen Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yeah, I love that movie,
dude. That part where he's like, he's walking through the office, and he's like, this guy knows what I'm talking about, and he's like, who are you calling, your wife? And he's like, HR. He's like, your wife works in HR? I laughed my ass off at that, dude. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk. So let's talk a little bit PS2 for just a minute, man. What a game! Just doing what he does, just shutting down his side of the field. But 2 interceptions for the guy. Once again showing why. Like I think one was thrown by Minshew, yeah, and the other was by Aiden O'Connell, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he intercepted both quarterbacks in that game. I mean, literally, could you put a bigger sign up above his head that says, "Why the hell do you keep throwing in my direction? Are you stupid?"
One of those interceptions went to Riley Moss, who I'm telling you, if there's any highlights this season for him, it's gonna be that one. I was so ecstatic. I was so proud because I know Riley Moss has been getting a lot of flack ever since the Seahawks game.
So. I have been high on Riley Moss ever since we drafted him, and I have remained steadfast behind Riley Moss that entire time. And now we're seeing it. Now we're seeing exactly what I've been trying to convey. Everybody, give him a chance. Mm-hmm. I'm so pumped that at least this time I was right. Because what listed in I think after this game he's listed in the top 10 for cornerbacks now. So him and Pat Surtain together I truly believe is the best cornerback duo in the NFL.
Yeah, definitely.
It's huge.
I think the other moment of this game, Johnny, and it's something that we talked about that was really lacking before Bo Nix got here, was just the energy and with that Bo Nix brings to this team. Mm-hmm. The other talk of the town in Broncos Country was the little spat that Bo Nix and Sean Payton had.
Yeah,
I was so happy to see that because that's something that we desperately needed to see from our quarterback was just the energy and the testicular fortitude to stand up to the head coach and say, hey, I'm trying to do this. I did this because I saw this and I saw that. That's why the hell I did it. Let me run the plays. And just walked out. And then Sean Payton.
Let me do what you drafted me to do.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. And real quick, Mundungus is coming in and saying, Riley Moss's nickname is Crackerback, not made up, I swear.
I did hear that.
I know that. And we actually at least on Nothing Rhymes here, we call him the Great White Hope.
The Great
because
White
he's but I just want to and I want to say that was I've said it for weeks. Riley Moss was due for his first NFL interception. He got it. Bo Nix got his very first win in Denver.
Yes, sir.
At least regular season, but we don't count the preseason as for that. So he got his first regular season win in Denver. Well done, awesome, so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to Bo and the spat between him and Sean Payton on the sidelines, I was literally only, I don't know, I could read, right, I could see their lips moving. You know what I mean? That's how close I was to that spat.
Mm-hmm.
And Isaiah and I are sitting there going, dude, are you watching this? Like we're like pointing at them, not at the jumbotron. We're pointing down right at them on the side. Like, are you watching this? And it was so crazy. And we after the game, we were in the Uber, leaving the stadium, headed to our vehicle. Big shout out to our friends over at DNVR. Love you guys. You always let me park my truck in your lot and take an Uber to the stadium. It's awesome. But we were in the Uber on the way back and we were talking about it. And we were talking about the difference between what last season, Sean Payton versus Russell Wilson on the sidelines, and this season, Sean Payton versus Bo Nix on the sidelines. You saw it last season when Sean Payton was pissed. He was like, I'm done. How dare you change my play? Whatever. And he gets in Russell Wilson's face, and Russ is ducking his helmet and cowering like a beaten dog.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally, I actually went back this week or yesterday and watched the video of that interaction, and
Mm-hmm.
literally Russ is just like, oh God, no, he's yelling at me, no. But then you get Bo, and Sean Payton, he can be a real a-hole. We have established that well and
Mm-hmm.
truly on this show many times that Sean Payton can be a real jerk. When he doesn't get his way, he's really hard to get along with. He's hard to get along with anyway. But he also respects someone who stands up for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you saw. He was in his face. And by the way, it wasn't just Bo that came back at Sean over that. Davis Webb was right there being like, I'm with him.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I mean, to see Bo Nix stand up, I wish that moment had been mic'd up. There's some stupid, fake news thing going around about what was actually said, and it was mic'd up bull. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what was said. It was, it's some idiot trying to get clicks.
Yeah.
But I wish that moment had been mic'd up because, God, I wish I could have heard what Bo Nix was saying to him. First of all, to be the young rookie quarterback and have the balls to stand up for yourself to your Super Bowl winning head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Now, the real question, Johnny, and the question that everybody's asked me since that happened was, if Troy Franklin makes that catch and that touchdown counts, does that spat still happen? Do you think it still happens?
Nope. And that's the thing. I think in the end, even though Sean Payton is like, dial it back a little, Bo, I'm still your coach. I think part of him realized, like, the reason I'm just so angry is because it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But but no, I absolutely believe if Troy Franklin, which by the way, dude, there was not a player within 10 yards of you. How in the absolute hell do you drop that ball? It was perfect, especially when you have the familiarity with the quarterback who threw it that you do. Like,
that's what hurt the most.
One would argue that one might make the argument that if there's one wide receiver on this team that should be, catching Bo passes and should be, it's him, because he's played with him for 3 freaking years. To drop that pass, like, perfect. You cannot put that on Bo at all.
No.
Not even a smidgen. 100% on Franklin. 100%. Yeah.
I would have honestly.
If he had caught that ball, that argument wouldn't have happened. China would have been like, "Yeah, all right, it worked."
Yeah, I mean, I would have invested in a jug machine like right away, because I would have felt like total crap. And it just goes to show you that what Sean Payton's vision is starting to come to fruition. Mm-hmm. And to me, it seems like this Raiders game was the catalyst. And it's pretty much what we saw in preseason happen now. It just took 4 or 5 weeks to get it going. Now, the important thing, Broncos Country, that we have to follow up on is that it wasn't just a flash in the pan. You know, what we don't need to hear is like, oh, it was just because of the Raiders. Like, no, this offense needs to go out there and handle business every single game.
Listen, they have though. They have. And a lot of people are still downplaying that win over the Jets and saying that, like, that Bo just didn't play a good game. I'm like, and I've watched that game now 4 times. And what I had been saying the entire time still rings true now, 4 times later, or watching, or 3 times later, watching the game against the Jets. Obviously, I was mostly watching quick plays. I wasn't watching all the commercials and stuff, but that the weather truly dictated the course of that game. Whether you want to believe that or not, Bo missed a bunch of passes. Sure, I won't deny that. However, when you look at the way the ball flew, every single time it missed, that only happens when the ball slips out of your hands, because an experienced and accurate quarterback like Bo, because he is, and we've seen that against the Buccaneers. We've seen that now against the Raiders. He's a very accurate passer. A ball only sails over the wide receiver's head that many times in a game when it's raining because the ball is slipping at the top of his throwing arc. That's the only reason that's happening. All right, so they are getting it done. It's not a flash in the pan. We've seen it now 3 games in a row against good teams. Well, yeah, I mean, okay, maybe not the Jets, because obviously Robert Saleh just got freaking fired. But we saw it. We saw it against the Buccaneers. That's a decent to good team. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people still have them going to the playoffs. And then we did it again yesterday. Now, the Raiders have been a dumpster fire, but regardless, we saw them put up what it should be. Let's see. We have Denver Gator in the house. Hey guys, great time to be a Bronco. 3 in a row. How about to be 4? Chargers favored by 3 in our house is insulting, dude. I looked that up. I was looking at up all the stuff before the game going into this Chargers bout. I saw that they're favored to win by 3, and I almost threw my phone. I was like, has Vegas, are they not paying attention? What games have they been watching? What Broncos games have they been watching? I mean, do you think that the Chargers being favored by 3 on the road in Denver after the Broncos are on a 3-game win streak I think it's laughable. Adon, what do you think?
I think that the football gods did the Chargers a huge favor by giving them a week 5 bye. An early bye is usually kind of frowned upon in NFL because it's like it can ruin momentum. You'd have to be in the shape that the Chargers were going into that bye week where they were just all beat the hell up. And they still are. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure a week for them goes a long way. But I don't think it's enough to put the Chargers in terms of position where they were week 1. Okay. So they're going to come into Denver pretty much limping. Their tackles are not going to be at 100% if they do play. Joey Bosa, he's been such
not
a poster, not 100%. So it's all going to be on Khalil Mack.
Do you think Justin Herbert nursing that ankle is going to be at 100% either?
No. So a week is probably going to buy the Chargers a little bit more time than they may be slated for. If they really want to look forward in terms of trying to win the division or even make a playoff run, then they're going to bench whoever's like questionable or borderline, because they're going to have to force themselves into this game, guys. This is a division game. This isn't just a non-conference game. This is for round 1 of the division. So I don't see the Chargers benching any of their starters. If they're questionable,
Nope.
They're probably going to play, unless it's like an injury where it's like, hey, concussion or a body part where they just can't go on. And then that'll actually put them in an even bigger rep, because then that hurts them for their future. We're only in week 6, and the Chargers seem to be one of the most beat up teams in the NFL, not named
Absolutely.
the Niners or the Rams. So there's something going on in California. Those are the 3 most beat up teams I can think of right now. So
it's all that hemp, dude. It's all that hemp. Yeah.
So for the fact that they're going into this game all beat up, I think that the reason they're being favored, if I'm being honest with you guys, is more than the whole thing with Harbaugh. So
Yeah.
with every win that the Chargers got at the beginning of the season, Harbaugh started to look like the savior over what Brandon Staley was doing. But now that the Chargers are losing and they're all beat up, it's like, so what's going to happen? What's John Harbaugh going to do in terms of trying to turn this team around? I
Mhm.
don't think that the Chargers, the condition that they are right now, I don't think that they're nowhere near where the Broncos defense are in terms of
Oh God, no.
score. They're
Oh God.
probably up there with the Raiders. The only thing that's really hurting the Broncos right now is the offensive line. The offensive line is beat up. It's not like completely out of it, but they're banged up. But these guys are going out there and they're ready to put themselves out there for their quarterback to protect him and put some
Absolutely.
W's on the board for Denver.
Absolutely. Now, I got some comments to get to real quick. Actually gonna go with one of these one of the newest comments to come up first, and that would be my our good friend KB82 Kenny Booker popping in
Yo, yo,
saying, "Can
yo.
Johnny even see what's going on without his glasses? Is that even Johnny or his twin brother Ronnie?" First of all, my twin brother's name is Kevin. Okay. Second of all, I'm just kidding. I don't have a twin that I know of. But what actually the reason is I'm broadcasting this one from my parents' house in Colorado, not in my normal studio. So I have the green screen up behind me right now. Because I don't want I hate when you get on a podcast with and someone's just sitting against some blank background when they're normally in front of like their man cave wall or whatever. I hate that. So I hang a green screen, got it up, and discovered as we got ready to go live that the green screen for whatever reason keeps doing this weird thing with the reflection of the screen in my glasses. It makes me look funky, and it looks terrifying. So I just took them off, and I can see well enough to read the comments because the computer is literally about a foot and a half away from my face. That's the only reason. But appreciate that anyway, buddy. Um, Looking here, going back, Richie Rich makes a great point, about what I was saying about the ball slipping out of his hand in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
He says not always. It's not always because of that. It can also say that the feet cannot plant correctly. And I absolutely hear you. Here's the argument that I make that was not the problem, or if it was, it also had to do with the turf and the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Is that we haven't seen that ball sail like that because he's playing his feet improperly against the Buccaneers or the Raiders. So to me, I guess you could make the argument that he had an off week planting his feet if that's the case. But the game before and the game after are telling me that that's not his problem. To me, that game was an outlier. That weather was shit, and there's no other way to put it. Jay and Ty were in attendance at that game, and they said that may be the most miserable weather they've ever been in their lives. So I call that the outlier. Mundungus bringing up a great point. 3 out of the last 5 teams we have played, or 3 out of the 5 teams that we've played, have had top 10 defenses.
Yes, sir.
And we're 3-2 right now. We're above 500.
Yeah.
With that.
And only the Seahawks were the only. Not to interrupt you, Johnny, but just quick point to that. Only the Seahawks have been the only team to score more than one touchdown on the Broncos defense. So for the last 4, only Justin Fields was held to 1, and Tampa Bay was held to just 1 as well. Yep. So the fact that this Broncos defense is bending but not breaking is anything short of amazing. And every single game,
by the way, I wouldn't say they're bending, not breaking, because that's a Vic Fangio thing that we throw out the window. Okay, that's gone, and that's not how VJ calls a defense. However, to keep these teams, under 15 points, 3 teams under 15 points in a win, that is phenomenal. I don't care who you are. That's phenomenal. Raiders had 2. You're right. Yeah, but wow. You take my meaning. You hear what we've kept them under 20. We've won 3 games, and in all 3 games we've kept all 3 teams under 20 points. That is a defensive powerhouse. Yeah. It's what teams were doing to us.
Yeah,
in these last few seasons.
and that second touchdown, it was a garbage touchdown. So,
Yeah.
garbage touchdowns are just kind of like filler. They don't that touchdown meant absolutely nothing in terms of trying to get back into the game,
The ultimate outcome of the game was unaffected by it.
yeah, which was the point I was trying to make, Mundungus. So, and that's perfectly fine. The Broncos were playing what? They were trying to kill the clock with more than a quarter left in the fourth. They didn't necessarily need to go. It wasn't. It was a blowout already. Okay, so it was just filler. Like I told Johnny, I saw DYT out there, so I thought that the second stringers were out there, and it kind of looked like it because the Raiders were just kind of marching down the field. you
Yeah.
know, um,
D-Rock making a comment about us being the underdogs at home this week against the Chargers. He says, "No, do not allow the pundits to pick us. Because we're feeding off the hate and the doubt." Absolutely. Broncos country, we march around with an eternal chip on our shoulder because we're always underestimated.
yes, sir.
So, you know what? You're right. Let them, they'll learn. They'll learn. If not this season, they'll learn next season because this team, I think this team is headed on a very steep upward trajectory. Let's see. We have Denver Gator popping in and also saying, I think we went after Bo, so he would go after Troy and the wide receivers as he should. Authority passed down from coach to QB to wide receiver, running back, lineman, etc. And you know what? I don't know if they showed it on the broadcast, but he did. After Sean Payton laid into him, Bo went over to the bench and started laying into his wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Again, a rookie. Most rookie quarterbacks aren't comfortable enough yet to go, lay into a bunch of veteran wide receivers being like, what the hell, dude? Most of them are like, okay, I'm still established myself. No, he's like, no, I threw that perfect ball. Why did you drop that? How did you drop that? What the heck, dude? It was great.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. We got KBH says, you're in Colorado? We need to grab a drink. Drinks on me, of course. I totally would if I were not flat broke. And when I say that, I'm actually in no way joking. Like literally 47 cents in the bank account, bro. And I still got to figure out how to get back to Tennessee. So let's see. Broncos brought back Cam Fleming. That's something to talk about a little bit. Obviously we've had some injuries on the at the tackle position. I don't know if I'm so super hyped about that, but he did have some good moments. So when he was with us before. So here's hoping. We got Alex in the house. New name to us. I don't have any beer with me either right now. Like I said, I can't afford it. But Alex is a new name. So Alex, welcome to the Orange and Blue crew. He's asking what's going on with our injuries. Honestly, we don't have that many. I mean, if you really look at going into these games, except for maybe Alex Singleton being on IR, we're actually doing pretty dang good injury-wise. Knocking on wood. Yep. So I feel pretty good about that.
Injuries are just a part of the game, Alex. I forgot who. I think it was Shannon Sharp who said if your team isn't injured by the end of the season, then you're not playing good enough football. It's just part of the game, and that's just because these guys are going out there every single week and they're, doing what they're being paid millions of dollars to do. So whether you're a cornerback, a tackle, a guard, running back, doesn't matter what position you are, even quarterbacks.
Okay.
They take hits, they get beat up. So that's just football.
Yeah. Just to clarify, guys, you're right. I'm already getting, shot down here in the comments by KB82 and Rich being like, what are you talking about? We're missing our right tackles. Okay. I meant like we'd already talked about the right tackle thing. So I was kind of like saying, I guess in my mind, I was talking about injuries elsewhere. We're doing okay. We're doing pretty good. So right tackle obviously is definitely a concern, but we'd already been talking about that, and that's why my mind didn't go straight there. I do apologize. KB82, what part of Colorado are you in? I have a full liquor cabinet. I'm in Longmont, bro. Boulder County. Although I don't claim Boulder, I can't stand Boulder as a city. I don't enjoy going there. But I'm in Longmont, so I think you're down in the Springs area or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be very wrong there. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, he's Richie Rich says that we are missing McGlinchey, likely Alex P, and also the second string guy gapping up his name. Second string guy. You talking about at linebacker?
Yeah. Now I will say, Johnny, not to cut you off, I'm sorry. With the trade deadline is quickly approaching, we are going into week 6. And the way the Broncos are playing, the Broncos are looking to be like buyers. So I have heard that, the lower level teams that are just not playing very good, like the Jaguars, I heard that the Broncos should try to make a run for, I think it was their right tackle, if I'm not mistaken, or somebody from their offense.
I haven't heard any of that, so I don't know.
Yeah, so I did read that. So the Broncos should definitely look at to try to see if they can reinforce a part of their offensive line. I said this last week when I had Lindsay on Broncos Talk. Like, I am so done with Greg Dulcich as a tight end.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was on inactive this past week. So if they want to go out and get themselves a tight end, I'm more than good for it. So whatever whatever Sean Payton needs to do,
whatever Frank wants to do, go get Frank.
I don't know why I said because I saw Frank Crum on the thing. That's
yeah.
Whatever Sean Payton wants to do in order to help reinforce this offensive line or give Bo Nix another weapon, and I'm all down for it.
Sure.
So,
yeah, and Alex is talking about Frank Crum. We do still have Frank Crum, although I have no faith in the guy. He hasn't given me a reason to have any faith in him yet. Yeah, and the name that Rich was tripping over there was Quinn Bailey. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
we definitely miss Quinn Bailey.
Yeah.
Mundungus. Denver should trade for David Njoku from the Browns, dude. I mean, I'd be down for it. Yeah, he's definitely a playmaking tight end. He's one that gets forgotten about a lot as a playmaking tight end. KB82 did respond. He says he's close to me. Actually, he's in Superior by the Flatirons Mall. Yeah, that's only about a 45-minute drive for me. So, well, hey, I'll hit you up, Kenny, and see if we can't. I'm here. I have to work while I'm here, but I'm here through next Saturday morning. This coming Saturday morning. So maybe I don't know. We can figure something out. Just for, if nothing else, to actually meet up for the first time. It'd be pretty cool. So you know what I want to do? I want to do what we do. Have a little bit of fun. We love doing our segments on Nothing Rhymes. This chant got shouted so many times at the Raider game. It was so much fun, and I never get tired of hearing it. So this is the phrase is incomplete. I love that. I love hearing that. I have to fight myself to not click it again just to hear it again. But so this is the phrase is incomplete. It's very simple. We each make a statement. We leave a blank. We leave a blank in there that we can answer and that you guys in the chat can answer. So, Adon, how are you? Would you like to start, or do you want me to go first on this one?
I wouldn't dare take the pleasure away from you, so please.
No, the pleasure, but buddy, the pleasure's all mine to give it to you. Oh wait, because you don't have one ready because I surprised you. That's right. Surprise you. Surprise. What's that? What is it in Dexter? Surprise, motherfucker. All right, so I'll go first. So the phrase, I'm actually going to take my phrase from something that was talked about on MHRT on the 5280 podcast right before we went live. It's a question that I posed to them in the chat, and I want to now make it the phrase is incomplete here on this show. So here we go. The phrase is incomplete. If what we have seen from Bo Nix so far could be considered his floor, I would consider blank as a player comparison to be his ceiling going forward. Make sense?
Kind
So make a comparison with another quarterback that you could see being comparable to Bo Nix's ceiling. If all we have seen is his floor, blank is his ceiling. Go ahead, complete my phrase, bud.
Alex Smith. That's a good guess. What
you're thinking? KB82 says Alex Smith. He's more mobile than Alex Smith was, though. Alex Smith was kind of he wasn't much of a gunslinger either. But I like the idea. He says KC Alex Smith.
Clarify.
All right, that works. Okay. While you're continuing to think there, my friend. Mundungus says younger Kirk Cousins. I like it. What say you there, Adon?
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I want a current quarterback or a quarterback from the past. So that's what I'm torn on. But
this may seem like a bit of a cop out, but I liked what I heard and I appreciated it so much that I'm going to make it my answer to my own phrase. When I asked this question of the 5280 guys, Gage gave his answer as Brock Purdy.
Oh, dude, I was thinking Joe Burrow. I don't know why.
I mean, okay, except maybe without the Eminem haircut.
Yeah.
But I really like the idea and what I'm seeing so far of his game management skills, his accuracy. I like the comparison to Brock Purdy and his mobility, his ability to extend plays. So I really like the idea I really liked when Gage said that, and it changed my own answer right there. Boom. I had an answer in mind, and he immediately changed my mind. So I like that. And I feel like that's actually it has a very high potential for being a possibility. So Brock Purdy, go ahead with yours if you have one yet.
I have one, but I don't know if it makes sense. So I'm going to just put it out there. Here it goes.
Have fun with it. That's what this segment's about.
We did see an uptick in Javonte Williams' gameplay this week. I think that he ran the ball a little bit better. And I think
absolutely. He had 117 all-purpose yards. And I believe 60-something was passing, and the rest was on the ground. So 50-something was on the ground.
Yeah. So I guess my question to you, Johnny, is if Javonte continues on this momentum and it actually increases, we could be looking at Javonte running for blank touchdowns by the end of the season.
All right, this one's a little tough. Real quick, was Joe Burrow your answer for quarterback? Okay. All right. Before I answer yours, we've got a couple more in here. KB82 says Jalen Hurts, maybe. I hope that's a good one. I like Jalen Hurts, although he is really the Eagles are taking a real step backwards.
Huge.
Kind of sad. Let's see. And then Rich says, with a question mark, he has some Tom Brady in him too.
Does he?
I don't know. I don't know if I see that so much. I maybe with his accuracy, I can see that. And then he says, actually, no, ceiling is Breeze. Hey, I would take Drew Brees all day, buddy. And somebody who can play like Drew Brees did. And he's taller than Drew Brees and more mobile. So I'm totally cool with that. All right. So yours is if he maintains trajectory, Javonte Williams will have blank touchdowns this season. What is he at right now? I can't remember.
I don't think he's scored one.
Has he had any?
No, I don't think he's had. I think McLaughlin's been the star of the show.
My brain hole is blanking.
I don't think Javonte has scored at all. I know he's run the ball, but he hasn't seen the end zone. I think it's all been McLaughlin.
I'm looking this up because my answer has to kind of be predicated upon that. Denver Gator says 8.
Hmm.
KBH2 says 6. Landon Clark, what's up, Landon? Here your football team is doing pretty damn good there, bud. Your dad went live with us 2 weeks ago from the parking lot of your game, so that was pretty fun. Let's see. No. 0. He's at 0.
Yeah.
6 games in, he's at 0 touchdowns on the season. His current trajectory, I would say 7.
That's right.
If he can put it all together.
That's the right answer.
Is it really?
Yeah, 7.
Well, I mean, it's just what I'm seeing. If he gets his first touchdown this next game, let's say, then he's getting a real late start on the season for putting up touchdowns. That would put him at, what do we have left? We have 12 games? No. 13?
No, I think it's 12.
No, 11 games. Sorry, 11 games left. That would put him at,
11, yeah.
one, not quite a touchdown a game. 7 just seems to me. I almost feel like I'm highballing it, but I want to have the faith, so I'm going to go with 7. So, and KBH does make an excellent point here. You run the ball more late in the season, especially if you're in the playoff hunt.
Yeah,
so
exactly. That's why I said 7. So, and the thing, guys, is that this offensive line has just taken its time to find its groove. They've been finding it more with Jaleel, but that's because Jaleel and Javonte are 2 very different types of running backs, obviously. So while Javonte's more,
let's not forget, I'm pretty sure we get back Audric Estime this week against the Chargers.
Do we? I thought he was out for one more week.
It's either this week or next week. But either way, we're going to be getting Audric Estime back, which could potentially affect the touches that Javonte gets. I'm not expecting it to necessarily, but potentially it can. So I think 7 is a good number to go with.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mundungus also said 5.
He was close.
And then he goes with 12. I don't even know where you're coming from at this point, dude. 5 and 12.
Wonderful. It'd be wonderful if we could get 12 before the end of the season.
Oh no, sorry. Mundungus said 12 with the bye. Okay, he was talking about the amount of games left.
Oh,
the amount of weeks left in the season. Okay. Then KBH2 says until he fumbles the ball again. Yeah, that's true. No more of that, man. I mean, 10 commandment number 1 of football: thou shalt not fumble my ball. Mundungus coming back with another. Going back, just throwing it back just a little. Another comparison for a quarterback for the ceiling, for possible ceiling of Bo Nix. He said Dante Culpepper. Said Culpepper would be like his average play, not his ceiling. Okay. Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. Well, that was a fun, quick segment of the phrase is incomplete. We're coming up on the hour mark, so we're gonna get ready to roll out of here because are we gonna? KBH2 says, "Are we going to dress up for Halloween?" Yes, I am. I'm dressing up in my Mile High Viking attire with my complete. I wish you could have seen it, Don. I wore it to the game. I've worn it before, but I added to it for this game. I now have a full.
Is it like the GIF that I share on the group chat?
Yes, but I've added further to that get up. Now it's not just the horns and the face paint with the painted beard. Now I have an actual horn that I blow, a ram's horn. I actually carry an ale horn made from the horn of a ram that I drink beer out of at the game. It's carved with Mile High Viking on the front, and then I even have a painted hammer, like it's downstairs. I'm not gonna go grab it right now, but I have like a Viking war hammer. It's painted all orange and blue and has the Broncos logo embedded in it and stuff. But I think the coup de grace of what I added to it this time was I added an actual Viking style cloak with complete with fur on the shoulders. You know, the fur, but I painted I have the fur. It's blue and orange now, and I even have the clip across the chest with the Broncos logos to hold it on. You look down the back; it's got it's blue cloak with the white stripe with the orange stripe down the middle of that. You know, Broncos helmet over a giant Broncos helmet over the middle of it on the back of the cloak. It looked pretty badass and it felt pretty good to wear. I'm wearing that. KBH2, I have to pillage a neighborhood if I dress up as a Viking.
The Mahi Viking.
I will gladly pillage. I will pillage. There's a Steelers fan 2 doors down. I'm going after him. Let's see. Kenny says, I want to be the bird from Dumb and Dumber that they sell to the blind kid that has duct tape wrapped around his neck. That is maybe the most creative costume I've ever heard, dude. Like, you have to have somebody walking behind you, though, going, pretty bird, pretty bird. Yeah, you're a pretty bird.
Decapitated.
And Mundungus, I'm dressing up as a hooker. Well, that's not really dressing up. It's your normal nightly attire. But, I mean, the only difference is instead of working the corners, you're going to be working the houses.
I thought he was going as a bearded blur.
Yeah. Oh, man, that was fun, you guys. So, hey, we got the Broncos Chargers coming up this Sunday at home. 2 home games in a row, both division games. Let's bring it on home. Let's prove the national media wrong once again, as they have once again named us underdogs in this game at home. Not okay with it. Not okay with it at all. This is going to be fun. If you have not already, please make sure that you go over and like, subscribe, share, and comment to Orange and Blue Network on YouTube, X, Facebook, and catch all the audio versions of our podcast on your favorite platforms. Then jump on over, because this show is simulcast, jump on over to MHRT Network. Like, subscribe, share, comment on YouTube, X, Facebook, Twitch. Hell, MHRT is even on Instagram. So make sure you give us some love over there as well. Guys, don't miss all the other great content that we have. Tomorrow night is Broncos Talk, hosted by that guy over there. And Ty Y, the fantasy guy. I'll go live at 7 p.m. Central. So make sure you catch that. Don't forget next on game day, 1 hour before game time, to join us for the Get Bucked Game Day show. Then make sure you join and watch as our buddies over at MHRT do the neighborhood during the game. I got to host it 2 weeks ago. It was an absolute blast. So much fun. Great content during the game. And then make sure you also catch the post-game show, the Buck Your Feelings post-game show right after the game. Guys, thanks for joining us. Adon, thank you for joining me tonight, brother. I really appreciate you being here with me. I love you, man. And I hope you continue to have a wonderful, wonderful week. When is KB2? When is Mundungus and the Boomer? They go. Yeah, that's the neighborhood during the game. And KB82, he gave it to us. We have to do it. We haven't done it in so long. It's time. It's time. The Broncos are 3-2. It's time for us to give everybody what they really want, whether they like it or not, or whether they know it or not. It's time to get your arms out with me for a big Woo! Woo! We love you, Broncos Country. We love you, Orange and Blue Crew. We will see you next time. Go Broncos!
Orange and Blue, we're here for you. Talking Broncos all day through. No stopping us, we're on the loose. Come join the crew, no bad news. Podcast vibes so fresh and true. Nothing rhymes with Orange and Blue. Catching up on all that we knew. Hit play, let the episodes accrue. Nothing rhymes.